I didn't know you had a Leica monochrome. Well, I don't have one. I have this thing here. This beautiful little thingy. If there is something like a Leica look, it could be described like this. The best possible photo you can make using a small, versatile camera. I think that describes the Leica cameras, but also this combo I love so much. The Fuji XT4 with a very special lens. Welcome to you. This is the Leica look, but it's not Leica. Well, at first, why not Leica? Well, boring argument, but true. It's just too expensive. I want the best, most versatile camera which produces photos which look like they could last a lifetime. A Leica could do this, but also the Fuji XT4 with a new Voigtländer Color-Skopar 18mm f2.8. Or another Fuji X model like the X Pro 3, which even fits a bit better because of its smaller size. It's a manual lens on a Fuji APS-C camera, which for me equals the quality of a Leica Q3 or Q2 monochrome, even it's not full frame. Please look closely at these shots I made mostly in government district in Berlin and tell me if a Leica could do any better. No chromatic aberrations and not really a visible vignetting is visible for me on these photos. And you can get this camera and lens for not half the price of a Leica Q3, but for a quarter of the price, roughly around 1,500 euros. And yes, the Q3 has an autofocus, so you could also compare this camera and the lens with a manual focus Leica M11 with a 28mm lens for about 7 times the price. And I usually put a Pro mist filter on the Voigtländer, which saves me another 1,000 for the Ricoh GR3 HDF. Alright, enough about the price. So what makes this lens so special? 18mm on APS-C is a 28mm equivalent, so the typical focal length for street photography for decades. Used by great street photographers like Gary Winogrand or Bruce Gilden. And it's the lens of the Leica Q models. Oh, and the standard lens for most mobile phones, so our eyes are used to see photos with this focal length. I had another Fuji X lens with a 28mm equivalent, the Fujinon 18mm f2.0, but I sold it for this one. It's so super small and lightweight, it's a true pancake lens. I think it's pure joy to adjust the focal length on the lens manually with a focus tab, and the aperture ring also works pretty fine for me. Voigtländer lenses have a certain non-digital look. It's really hard to put it in better words. What I really dislike about modern lenses is the super sharp, clean look. It's all about sharpness. At least it was until a few years ago, because I think we now rediscovering our, well, let's say healthier level of this technical achievable sharpness on newer lenses right now. People are buying analog cameras again, and if they shoot digital, they aim to reproduce the analog look, and this lens is perfect to do this. I use the Acros film simulation with red filter for the black and white photos, and they look just marvelous out of the camera. For the few photos I took in color, like color JPEGs, I used the good old classic chrome film simulation I love since the Fuji X100F. For street photography, in order to be fast when I need to, I mostly choose a distance between 2 meters and infinity, and I go for something between f8 and f11. Oh, and because some of you asked in the comments of the first video I made about this lens some weeks ago, yes, the focus throw is really small. The distance between 2 meters and infinity is just 2 millimeters. That's true. Like it is at some other Voigtländer manual lenses for Fuji as well. But as this is a quite wide focal length, it works perfectly fine for me. 2 meters is enough for portraits and shooting wide open, and I cannot recall one shot where I would have needed a bigger distance between 2 meters and infinity. But there is a small problem indeed. You could accidentally touch the focus throw just a bit and change the distance without noticing it. But that could happen with the Fuji X100V as well, and with many other cameras. So all in all, it's just a perfect lens for, how can I put it in words, meditative street photography for me. For photo walks where it's about the beauty of photographing and you may have few hours time for just moving this beautiful focus tab to the left and to the right. That's really fun. So I fell in love with that little thingy, and to me Leica lenses aren't better in any way. This lens makes me remember the days I was shooting only analog, but now without having the hassle with overpriced film and bored lab stuff. So what do you think of manual lenses like this? Or do you prefer to shoot with autofocus? Happy shooting, see you in the next video.